Hi everyone, it's Joel here again, and today we're looking at Sketch. Now there are two apps that are called Sketch that I'll be talking about this term. This one is just called Sketch. The other one is Adobe Sketch, which is much more powerful, which we'll talk about later. But this one is basically a way of turning photos into sketches and putting a filter on it. I have to admit there's not too much to this app. It's pretty simple, but what I do like about it is it gives the students, in this case for me it's the year twos, it gives them the idea of what a filter is and its purpose, and that's a really good stepping stone into next year when they start using Photoshop on the computers. They're already aware of what a filter is and what it does and what its purpose is, and they know that from work they've done on the iPad before. So I guess that's my way of justifying doing a sort of simplistic app like this. Okay, so let's have a look at it. So here we go on my iPad, and we'll tap on Sketch to get started. And here you are presented with three options. One, the bottom one is to rate it. I'm not even going to do that. But you can take a photo with the app, or you can choose one from the camera roll, which is that folder icon, which I'm going to tap on now. And I'm going to go to my camera roll, and I'm going to find something that would be good to turn into a sketch. So with the one that I did with the students with the brush stroke that I talked about last time, I asked them to take photos outside, photos of the environment. So I thought for this one I would do the opposite. I would say, I want you to take a headshot and I want you to turn that into a sketch. So let's find a nice headshot here that we've got of one of the students here. Let's have a look. Possibly, let's see. There we go. And now the first step is to adjust your crop to how you want it to be. So I'm going to move this. Now it looks like this is really only contained as a square, which limits me a bit. It's one of the things I don't like about this. There seems to be no way to adjust the ratio, the aspect ratio, because ideally what I'd like to do is chop off a little bit at the top where the kids are in the background, but let's just keep it there just for the demonstration purposes here, and I'll press the blue arrow to go to the next step, and here we're going to choose different filters. So the first one here is frames. I'm not going to worry about that yet. I'm going to tap on the pencil on the right bottom, and as we go through these we can see what each one looks like, and some are sort of heavier sketches than the others, and some really go pretty strong. Now we can change that, and I'll explain that in a minute, but let's find one that we think that is again appropriate to this particular picture. You can see there are lots of these. I tell you what, young kids love going the rainbow. It looks horrible, but just be aware that kids will probably want to choose that one. Maybe steer them away from that one just because of how bad that looks. It might look better from an environmental kind of picture, a landscape photo, but certainly for headshots like this, it does not look good. Okay, so let's just use this one as an example. So I've chosen my filter. I can press the little X to get rid of that, and then up at the top you'll see that little light bulb, and that just gives you two options. It lets you increase the brightness and it lets you increase the contrast. The top one is brightness. Bringing it right down to the end means it's less bright, and you can see all the sort of shades and smudges in the sketch. Bringing it right up makes it obviously too bright, so you're trying to look for, what I say to the kids, you're trying to look for that sweet spot. So something like that, and then adjust the contrast accordingly. The further you do it, the darker the lines. The further back you do it, the lighter the lines. It just sort of depends on what you want. I personally don't like it too heavy. I think it looks too strong. I like to have it quite faded like that. And then you can adjust the brightness again if you just need to adjust accordingly. So I think that looks pretty good. Now I can go to my frame button, which is that one on the bottom left, and I'll tap that. And there are all sorts of frames here, white, angled, Polaroid, all sorts of things here that you can choose. Personally, I don't really like going for a color frame like this if it's a black and white sketch. I just think it looks too gaudy, so I might just try for something simple and classic, either like that or even like that. Looks kind of cute, so I might leave it at that one there. Okay, happy with that. Alright, so then the last option really is just to save it. So we just have to go to the share button up at the top, and we just press save image to save it to the camera roll, And there you go, done. So this is a very simple app. It's not hard for the kids to use it. What is a little bit of a challenge is getting them to make the sketch look good and to sort of curb their impulses to make it bright, saturated rainbow sketches that really can look pretty horrific, maybe just to an adult's eyes, I don't know. Something like this one here that I can see on my iPad, it looks a little bit more natural. It looks like someone actually did sketch that. So anyway, that is Sketch, and that's what I taught my Year 2s, and thank you for listening. Bye.